Almighty God, we give thanks to you, the creator of the universe, and humbly beseech you to direct and prosper the deliberations of the members of this Electoral College here assembled for the advancement of your glory and the trust and welfare of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Grant that peace and happiness, truth and justice may be established among us for all generations. Amen.
Confirmation of members.
Honorable members, in accordance with subsections 28(1) and 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, this meeting of the Electoral College has been convened by me as Speaker of the House. Before we commence, the clerk must confirm the attendance of members of the House of Representatives and the Senate by way of roll call. Clerk.
Mrs. Robinson-Regis.
Present.
Dr. Rowley.
Present.
Ms. Kujo.
Present.
Mrs. Webster-Roy.
Present.
Ms. Beckles.
Present.
Dr. Gadsby-Dolly.
Present.
Mrs. Morris-Julian.
Present.
Ms. Gopi-Schoon. Ms. Allison West.
Present.
Ms. Cox.
Present.
Mrs. Sagram Singh Suklal.
Present.
Mrs. Lazama Lee Singh.
Present.
Ms. Bethelmy.
Present.
Mr. Hines.
Present.
Mr. Dayal Singh.
Present.
Mr. Alwari. Mr. Imber.
Present.
Mr. Young.
Here.
Mr. Ford. Absent. Mr. Gonzalez.
Present.
Mr. McClatchy.
Present.
Mr. Cummings.
Present.
Mr. De Nobrega.
Present.
Mr. Leons.
Present.
Mr. Manning.
Present.
Mr. Richards.
Present.
Mr. Scotland.
Present.
Mr. Monroe.
Present.
Mr. Rambarat.
Present.
Mr. Sinanan.
Present.
Mr. Hussain.
Present.
Dr. Brown. Mr. Mitchell.
Present.
Mr. De Freitas.
Present.
Mr. Bacchus. Dr. Ibrahim. Mr. Young. Mr. Lee. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa.
The opposition participates in these proceedings under protest. I am present. Thank you.
Ms. Amin.
I'm present.
Mr. Charles.
Under protest, but I'm present.
Dr. Munilal.
Present under protest.
Mr. Puri. Absent. Mr. Indar Singh.
Present but under protest.
Dr. Bodu. Mr. Hussain.
Present but under protest.
Mr. Padaras.
Present but under protest.
Ms. Haynes.
Present under protest.
Mr. Tanku.
Present under protest.
Ms. Mohit.
Present under protest.
Ms. Benjamin.
Present.
Dr. Rambali.
Present.
Dr. Raghbir.
Present under protest.
Mr. Ram.
Present under protest.
Dr. Sicharan.
Present but under protest.
Mr. Ratiram.
Present under protest.
Mr. Mark.
Present but under protest.
Ms. John.
Present under protest.
Ms. Lakshmi Dayal.
Present under protest.
Mr. Nakid.
Present
under protest.
Mr. Leader.
The undemocratic proceedings we have ever seen in the Parliament of Trinidad.
Mr. Leader.
Present and under protest.
Mr. Roberts.
Present and ready to debate, Madam.
Mr. Richards. Present. Mr. Vieira. Present. Dr. Dayal Singh. Present. Ms. Dunarain. Present. Ms. Sipasad. Mr.
Name, first name. What's first name? What's first name?
Members,
Respectfully.
Could we please proceed in this important matter?
Madam, respectfully, I would like to know on this vote about independence. If independence, Senator Sipasad, if this issue involves her sister, should she recuse herself from this?
Mr. Timan. Thank you. Mrs. Thompson-Ahi. Dr. Dylan Remy. Mr. Welch. Mrs. Kangaloo. Mrs. Anisette George. Move to leave of absence. Leave of absence.
Honorable members, I have received requests to be excused from this meeting of the Electoral College from the following member, Mr. Esmond Ford, MP for Tunapuna.
Madam Chair, could I ask if the Leader of the Opposition will have an opportunity to propose and read a motion?
Member for Oropuch East, I believe the guidelines have been circulated. They've been clear. You have been present in another place where announcement was provided. Now we may disagree with the procedure, and that has been made very clear. But the procedure has been established by me as Speaker, as provided by the Constitution and the electoral regulations made under the Constitution. So I think one thing we do agree on, that this is an important process, and may we proceed.
So, may I seek some clarification, please, as we proceed before the vote? You have indicated to us that we're using Section 28 of the Constitution and using Regulation 3 under the rules for Electoral College, Legal Notice 187 of 76. Madam, that provides for a secret ballot. And therefore, I'm asking if we're keeping in accordance with the law, whether we will be allowed to do this by secret ballot. And secondly, therefore, members can then exercise a conscience vote. That is why we have a secret ballot.
Okay, so honorable members, member for Superior, I think the guidelines are quite clear. We may have also a different interpretation with respect to Regulation 3 and its applicability. Please proceed, Clerk.
Madam Speaker, with the greatest of respect to yourself, in accordance with Section 28(4), subject to this chapter, the Electoral College may regulate its own procedure and not the procedure of the Speaker. Please, can you clarify this for me, please? This is in accordance with Section 28(4) of the Constitution.
Honorable Member for Caroni Central, it appears that you've only read part of the Constitution. If you look, you would see that the Electoral College has already regulated itself by the electoral regulations made pursuant to the section 28(4) of the Constitution. In the announcement, in the other place, the appropriate guidance to the two relevant regulations was given. Please proceed.
Madam Speaker, respectfully.
187 of 1976, the rules that we are referring to, speaks to a secret ballot, and they relate with respect to election of a speaker. These proceedings are not for the election of a president. So something is wrong there, madam. Something is just not added up. So I seek your clarification again with the greatest of respect.
Yes, so Honorable Member for Superior, as you corrected yourself, the elections rules speak not for the election of a speaker, but the election of a president. My considered view is that the secret ballot, the provision it makes for a secret ballot, refers to, as you correctly said, the election of a president, but where there is a contested election. I'm sure you would agree we're not engaged here in the election of a president. Please proceed, Clerk.
Madam Speaker, respectfully.
Are you mindful of the fact, and I'm speaking here on behalf of some of us present, that if we vote in a particular way, there may be consequences?
Member for Naparima, I am sure I'm mindful of many things. I expect you are also mindful too. I don't have to determine who votes how and what happens. That has been determined long time ago by the constitutional provisions. As I've said, you all have already announced that you are here under protest. In the other place, while it may not have been at all appropriate, all your interjections were tolerated for the purpose of giving you full opportunity to protest in what I consider a very important exercise. The guidelines are there, they have been made clear, and I repeat, we may disagree, but the guidelines are what they are. Let's get on with this very important business that has been initiated by the member for Superior.
Madam Speaker, what is inappropriate is the fact that the member of Superior cannot present this motion via debate in this Parliament.
Member for Baratara Sanwan.
Madam Speaker.
Member for Baratara Sanwan. Take your seat.
Election regulations. The election regulations which you...
Member for Sanwan. Member for Baratara Sanwan. Take your seat. Take your seat.
Because we have no voice in this Parliament.
The motion.
That you justify your guidelines by the Constitution, but they are in direct contravention to the Electoral College regulation. The section 28 of the Constitution, and they are in direct our Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And for us in this Parliament to proceed on this particular matter, Madam Speaker, it is the most inappropriate thing that we can do because
Members of the Electoral College, on Monday, October 18, 2021, you received a letter from the Clerk of the House and Secretary to the Electoral College containing a motion filed by the Leader of the Opposition and Member for Superior to be proposed in the House of Representatives pursuant to subsection 36(1)(a) of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in respect of the procedure for the removal from office of the President. Earlier this morning, Thursday, October 21st, 2021,
Madam Speaker,
pursuant to subsection 36(1)(a) of the Constitution, the motion was proposed. I would like all members to comport themselves in a manner that is befitting the seriousness and the importance of the business that we engaged in.
so like for to guide us in a way that is fair and just for all, both sides. And you know how we are ruling. We do not agree with your guidance.
Earlier this morning, Thursday, October 21st, 2021, pursuant to subsection 36(1)(a) of the Constitution, the motion was proposed in the House of Representatives by the Leader of Opposition and the Member for Superior. In accordance with subsection 36(1)(b), the motion received the support of not less than 1/3 of the members of the House of Representatives. Now, therefore, as required under subsection 36(1)(c) of the Constitution, the Electoral College has been summoned to vote on the adoption of the motion proposed by the Leader of Opposition and Member of Parliament for Superior and circulated to all members of this college on Monday, October 18, 2021. Against that background, members of the Electoral College, and pursuant to subsection 36(1)(c) of the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the question is that a tribunal be established to investigate the removal of Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, ORTT, from the office of the President. This question, members, cannot be determined by a collection of voices. In accordance with Section 36(1)(c) of the Constitution, for the adoption, this motion requires a vote of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the House of Representatives and the Senate assembled together. The clerk will count the votes by roll call.
Madam President,
Madam President,
whether you can guide us as to whether these proceedings are being recorded by Hansard? Can you advise us?
Honorable Senator, I'm sure you two are quite well familiar with how proceedings of the Electoral College work. And yes, these proceedings are being recorded by Hansard. Please proceed.
Madam Speaker, with due respect, Madam Chairman, we were not as senators this morning, so we do not know the question. We would like other members of the Senate, all of the Senate, to hear the motion. We do not know what we are about to vote on because we were not here.
Madam Speaker.
I would like a response, and maybe I am talking too softly because I do not have a mic. I would like to know about what I am about to vote on. I was not privileged to be in the other place. I have not heard the motion. I would like the motion read for the benefit of all honorable senators present so that we can vote properly on what we are hearing.
The count shall continue, and I will ask all members, for the purpose of the count, if members will remain in silence so that the count could be properly reflected.
Madam Speaker, before the count is taken,
Count has already begun.
Madam
Take your
Speaker.
seat, please.
Madam Speaker.
Clerk, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, my voice is loud enough. There is a critical issue in this House, Madam, that was raised in the House of Representatives. And I would like the Amite administrators to stop cutting off the mic and mute the mic. Madam Speaker,
Continue.
the member for Superior, in the letter that you responded to,
Member for St. Augustine. Member for St. Augustine. Member for St. Augustine, you do not have the floor. Please sit.
there's a critical issue that you have not replied in your expansive reply in the House of Representatives from the letter from the member for Superior concerning a conflict of interest where a member of this gathering.
Member, I am going to ask you again to take your seat. Madam Clerk, continue. Continue with the count.
Madam Speaker, I am very respectfully requesting you to make a decision concerning this conflict of interest by a member who ought to recuse herself based on a close relationship to Ms. Blessy Prasad being her sister. It is improper for the sister of a member to be voting in this matter. And therefore I am Madam Speaker, I am asking you, first of all, to direct the Parliament to stop muting the voice of the opposition today. And secondly, I am saying that your vote should be taken before a decision, and your guidance is given on this matter of a very, very
The vote.
Mrs. Robinson Regis.
Madam Speaker, is it that you are ruling that in spite of this conflict of interest and this close relationship, that the sister of Blessy Prasad, who respectfully is a member, who is a very central figure in this matter, will be allowed to vote? Is that your ruling?
It appears that we just don't want to get on with the business of the day. Madam Clerk, please continue with the
Madam Speaker, I am anxious to vote, but this matter must be dealt.
I know. You're gone.
What do they want to hide?
We want
As the chair of this gathering, are you going to allow Senator Sipasad to participate in a vote? You must give a ruling on this particular matter.
Madam Speaker.
Please have your seat.
Chair, it is a breach of our democracy. We are
Honorable members, and particularly the members present here who were in the other place, I gave a ruling based on the urgings of the honorable member for Superior concerning that matter. We shall proceed.
Mr. Regis.
Speaker. Not involved the senator. She's not a
Unless members hear what they want to hear, they haven't heard. I have already indicated, member for St. Augustine, just prior to you standing, that I have already ruled that I am not accepting that invitation to exclude any member of Parliament from any chamber from the Electoral College. Please let us proceed.
Madam Chair, your ruling, your guidelines has indicated
Madam Clerk, continue. Continue with the vote. Continue with the count. Madam Clerk. Madam.
No. No. No.
Go on. Maybe you're not voting. Maybe you're not voting. You're not voting? No. Have a seat. Have a seat.
All right.
My advice is that the banging on the desk sometimes affects the functioning of the
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Madam, I think
Mr. Mark, are you going to vote or do we put abstain? Please determine. And I assure members their votes are being recorded. I would ask.
I'm going to. This is a debt to democracy. Yes, a debt to democracy.
Clearly, there's a technical problem here that we should rectify. Vote in an ordinary, dignified manner. And your mic is open and on, while nobody on this side seems that they might vote.
Ms. John has indicated she can't register her vote because her mic is not working. And Madam Speaker, when the government was voted there, all of their mics were working. Respectfully, I don't know you have some controls at your chair if you could adjust it so that our mics can come on.
Continue.
Madam Speaker, if you remove your finger from the button, the opposition mics will come on.
Yes.
purposes of research and political thought. They will not record the voice of members of the opposition, and that is an affront to our democracy. Madam Chair, we in the opposition Senate have not had the luxury to have heard our leader deliver the motion. So you have reduced us to having to toe the line with those in the lower house. And we have not been able to hear them vote here today. So we don't even know the details. We don't know. When somebody, I couldn't hear, but somebody down there said what the vote was because I have to toe the line. I'm forced to toe the line. We didn't hear our leader speak today. What does he want? Okay, yes.
I say yes, even though I have not heard the motion, I have not debated, but I will say yes on this day that our democracy has been killed by the People's National Movement and Keith Christopher Rowley, the Prime Minister.
Now proceed.
No.
Please continue.
About a matter I raised before concerning the allowance for Ms. Sipasad, who is a senator, to vote in this procedure.
Member, you do not have the floor. We are proceeding. Continue, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, you have made a decision to allow Senator Sipasad to vote without declaring her interest. And it is only fair and good for transparency's sake that if a member has a conflict of interest, that they declare it.
No.
She's an elected member. Elected.
Look, she take off.
No members declined to vote.
The mics work.
Honorable members, the result of the vote is as follows. 24 members voted for, 47 members voted against, no member declined to vote. The motion is defeated. Honorable members, the question is that the meeting of this Electoral College be adjourned sine die. All in favor? Aye. Any against? The ayes have it. This meeting of the Electoral College is now adjourned sine die.